That's right, Sarah. Joining me, Dr. Joel Conn from Pismo Beach Veterinary Clinic, and we are talking about rabbit health. And interestingly enough, when we have our pound puppy segments, we highlight a lot of times the puppies and the kitties as well, but oftentimes the shelters have a lot of bunny rabbits for reasons that I'm sure you can explain. They breed easily. People sometimes get them as a pet and then think, maybe not what I really wanted, and they end up at the shelter. So there are lots of rabbits who need homes.
There are, and rabbits make very nice pets. They live on average 7 to 10 years. They can be very engaging, very intelligent, very easily litter box chained.
So cuddly and
They're
soft.
very cuddly and cute. But one of the important things that we see on the veterinary side is poor nutrition.
Okay, and is this just from people not really understanding what rabbits need?
It is, and I think a lot of people get their nutrition advice from pet stores, which is maybe not the best source. But we see, and especially in exotic species in general, nutrition is such an important part because we rely on their immune systems to take care of them. Because a lot of times our diagnostics and our ability to help them is limited.
Right.
So in rabbits, one of the things that's kind of a common misconception is that they should be fed almost entirely pellets.
Okay.
And we see a lot of rabbits come in for severe health issues related to this. Obesity, chronic diarrhea, very poor dentition or teeth problems.
Okay.
And so one of the most important things in a fiber's life is fiber. Fiber, fiber, fiber. Super important. And it's important that they continually eat all the time.
So they just need to be munching.
They need to be munching. They're snackers.
Okay.
A rabbit that goes 24 hours without eating is a life-threatening emergency.
Bad situation.
They are. They're what are called coprophagic creatures. So they actually digest everything once, consume it again, and digest it a second time. And that's how they take in the nutrition from these, from the roughage and from these really tough to digest fibrous plants.
Okay.
So something maybe not everyone realized.
No. Great
So,
for the breakfast table.
Diet suggestions, pellets should be fed in moderation.
Okay.
And when you pick a pellet, you want to pick one that's at least 18% fiber.
Okay.
One good brand is Oxbow Hay, which you can find online. They make an 18% fiber, actually I think it's slightly higher, pellet. And in rabbits that are 4 to 5 pounds, they should only get about 1/8 of a cup per day. So we're feeding a total of about 1/4 cup per 5 pounds of rabbit.
So if they're always eating, they have to eat something else other than these pellets.
So pellets, if they eat them and you're feeding them the correct amount, once that's gone, that's gone. Just refill it the next day. Fiber, the most of their fiber they're getting from hay, and hay should be fed make sure it's always available.
It's just there, and they just eat it to their heart's desire.
And Timothy hay or oat hay, we try to avoid alfalfa. There are certain times of the year when that's difficult to avoid. Alfalfa is very high in calcium that can lead to things like bladder stones. So Timothy hay should be fed all the time. And in many cases, we put rabbits entirely on a hay diet, especially if we're having problems with obesity or diarrhea. And then, of course, another part of this is fresh veggies. So,
now, is hay and vegetables what they would be eating if they were in the wild? Are they going to be nibbling on grass?
Yeah, to some extent. I mean, the things that they're eating in the wild tend to be really tough, roughage. So things that are hard to digest, these dark leafy greens.
So if you're picking vegetables, you need to start thinking of that sort of a vegetable.
That's right. Don't forget the tops of the vegetables. So if you feed carrots, feed the carrot tops.
Okay, so if I'm making salad and I like to get those carrots that come from the grocery store with the top still on them, then that would be rabbit food.
That's
the
right.
Tops of the celery, the ends of the cucumber,
the leaves off the broccoli, dandelion greens, things like that.
I bet broccoli stems would be...
Broccoli stems are good. You want to try to avoid things like iceberg lettuce, not a lot of nutritional value there. And then treats, a lot of people feed bananas to their rabbits. Bananas can actually be very addictive.
They like them, huh?
They love bananas, and they can get very addicted to them. So moderation.
Is that good for them, or maybe they can have too much?
It should be fed as a treat. Think of it as junk food.
All right.
2 tablespoons per 4 pounds of body weight per day of treats, things like fruits, pineapples, bananas, things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So any other tips other than what we should feed rabbits as far as caring for them in our home?
Well, there's lots of things there.
They're kind of fragile, aren't they?
They can be, and so we actually have some care tips on our website, pismobeachvet.com, that you can check out, and contact your veterinarian. That's a great source of information. We're happy to give over-the-phone consultations. Give us a call.
So, askthevet.com if you have questions and comments for Dr. Joel Conn here. As you said, more information on your website. That's linked through our website as well, so you can find that at KCOY.com. Thanks for the great information as always, and we're going to be heading off to a commercial break, but we'll be back in just a few moments.